thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. It's so important we have these conversations.
Shut up.
I hear you're working on a new funny little project.
Yeah.
Funny little project. I've been like on the fringes of it, but I haven't seen the full
Sex
scope
FM,
of your vision.
We're putting it together. It's really unfortunate that we called it Sex FM because we didn't really think about it before naming it that, and it really almost sounds like sex offend. So we're have to really try hard to articulate it a certain way when we're recording material for it.
Okay, so I didn't even think about that. All right, start from the beginning. What is Sex FM?
So you know about the game Pacific Drive? For the girl listening, Pacific Drive, for those who aren't aware, for the girls not aware, is a indie game, quote unquote, that came out. I think it was sometime last year. Who gives a fuck? It's really, really, really good, and I like it a lot. And alongside the main big thing that is being made right now, and I can't talk about, is an indie game video that's hopefully going to come out a little bit before Christmas this year. I think I really want to talk about Pacific Drive in that video, and they came out with an update recently that I am so excited about.
Awesome.
They have made it so that you can put music into the game to replace it has like a radio, right? A radio that is both in the garage.
Pacific Drive is a game where you drive a car.
Pacific Drive is a video game that I want to shout out, and it's a game where you drive a car, but you get out a lot. That's the twist. The thing is, you have this beater car that you drive around all over the place, and it's like new weird setting where things are strange and peculiar, and it's just a zoned off area in 1999 that exists that is crammed full of strange, anomalous, weird bullshit that you have to navigate. And it's sometimes hostile, but it's not really a horror game as much as it is like a survival game. And the main loop is just like trying to venture further and further into this weird this weird setting of mostly normal like upper Midwestern forested area with just anomalous, strange, unknowable bullshit constantly happening to you and your car, and you have to maintain the car. It's really, really good, and I love it.
Love unknowable bullshit.
Yes. The important thing about all this is that A, I want to cover it in a video, and B, the game has a radio. And it's got a bunch of licensed music from small artists, and it's like a radio, right? But it's all diegetic. You turn it on, you turn it off. It sounds very crunchy, I guess. It's like coming from a shit car radio. It's great. I love it. And this new update that came out lets you go into the game files and replace or augment everything that the game comes with anything you want. Anything that is an MP3 can now just play out of this car's radio.
That is dangerous.
Here's the thing. It's not just an MP3. You can include other file types too. And the really exciting one for me is that it supports M3U files. And an M3U file is not actually a container for audio. It's a container for instructions. It will direct the thing trying to play it somewhere where audio is. It's a file path, basically. It's instructions on where else to go.
It's a list of files.
But those file paths can be local to your machine, or they can be online. And the game fully supports the online part of it. So what this means is that the M3U file could direct you to an internet radio station or a playlist on your computer equally well. And
this is dangerous.
So what I'm doing is I have decided that I want to make a whole ass internet radio station to promote this game. Well, not to promote the game, but like alongside my promotion of the game. Because what's a better sell than like, this is a good game you should play? A better sell is, here's a good game you should play, and here's this fucked up radio station that I started, and you can listen to it in the game, and it's period appropriate.
Yeah. Wow. That is very much a you idea.
Did I not tell you this? Did I not tell you about that?
I'm learning the full scope of it.
Okay. See, like originally we were just gonna be like, oh, we could set up like a YouTube playlist or something. That's really hard. You know what's easier, but just costs money? Setting up a whole ass actual radio station that people can just tune into. And it happens to be usable in Pacific Drive. The plan is, at least for 1 month, I just want to run it. And then, you know, if enough people like it, we can crowdfund it in the future, because it's not cheap to run on a monthly basis. But, you know, we'll see. But here's the thing that has me extremely excited about this. Aside from the fact that all of the music is like, there's already like 3 or 4 people working on this a lot.
Holy shit. you have an operation.
Oh, it's a whole thing, dude.
You have a whole operation.
Things are happening with this.
You're making moves in the bustling internet radio space.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You know how usually the edit culture that we've cultivated, that I don't really want to talk about too much right now, but if you know what a Mandy edit is, Mandy's not the only one who makes Mandy edits. You know how I will make one of those and it will just kind of consume all of my consciousness for a couple months, and then you'll hear about it eventually. This is just kind of what I'm doing instead of one of those.
Right.
Like that's the energy I'm directing into it. It's like I need to have a creative endeavor outside of YouTube that I'm really into.
Yeah.
But the fact that this plugs into YouTube indirectly and I'm not making money off of it, it's so good. Because for the first time, it's not just for friends. This is like, I have the opportunity to fuck with people who have absolutely no idea what the precedent is for this kind of thing.
Yeah. And for any viewers who don't know what he's talking about, just know that the type of energy that he would funnel into the type of project he's talking about is exclusively the most deranged parts of his creative psyche.
Have you watched any of my ad breaks in my videos? It's worse.
Yeah, that's a good reference.
It's worse. It's way worse. So, like, the idea is that it's mostly a normal radio station. The game takes place in 1998. So all of the music that it plays is like 90s shit. And I really wanted to shout out a few, well, not shout out, but platform a bunch of smaller artists who I really, really like and would like more people to pay attention to, even on a small scale like this, right? So I started picking out a lot of Nell Word. Sam Waiton songs. And so the jumping off point became like synth heavy pop and or jungle house music. And so we've already got like over 100 songs picked out that we're working through.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it's a radio. It's a radio,
yeah,
Sam. People can tune in anytime. We don't want just a tiny selection, right? Like that's the starting point.
I thought you started like yesterday.
A couple days ago.
All right.
We're still working it out.
Life happens fast.
So like it's mostly a normal radio station, right? But you know, aside from the branding being fucking inane, it's called Sex FM, right? I am just so infatuated with the idea that radio is unlike anything that I usually make, right? Because if it goes on YouTube, there's a time code. You can see how long anything goes on for, and you can skip around. Radio, you can't do that. You don't know.
Oh my god.
Sam knows where I'm going.
Imagine the ad break, but you don't know when it's going to end. Is where you've led us to. Good Lord.
But it's mostly normal, right?
Yeah.
Like, but here's the best part is that it's like it just goes whenever. So
yeah.
A lot of people will tune into this, and it is just a normal radio station. Only certain people who tune in will ever actually know that the radio is occasionally fucked up and stupid and inane and wastes a large amount of your time.
Yeah.
Because it's a very small chance of it actually doing that.
I'm really, really hoping that a listener or viewer who works in like a coffee shop or whatever.
Oh my God.
Decides to put this on.
No
as
way.
The background. The power.
There's actually no way, because every time we play like a radio jingle, it's going to be immediately incredibly grating for people. Unless I make some more normal ones. Like, look, okay, pick one that you haven't listened to real quick so you can get back on that wavelength.
All right. Tapping in. Yeah. All right, I'm on.
Tell me which one you're listening to here.
I'm hit bumper 2.
You're tuned in to Sex FM. Comes all your favorite dance, pop, and everything in between.
For me, it's gonna be Sex FM.
Sex FM!
This track is damn awesome. Check it out.
Holy shit! Wow.
So like, I don't think you can run that. I don't think you can run that at a fucking at like like a gaming bar or something. It's a little too much.
Well, the question is not can you run it. It's how long can you run it.
that is a good point.
Because there is a threshold, and it's not 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm just curious.
I mean,
I want to conduct a study. I want to conduct some research, Julie.
I don't know. I mean, I would be down. I would adore anyone who would be willing to try that, but I just can't see it working for more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like either that, or we need to like really, really bulk up the amount of material that is not funny to lower the likelihood of stuff like this triggering, which is like, okay, here's the thing, Sam. Stupid as this sounds for the scope of the project that we're working on, I am trying to keep the scope low until we have the baseline of like minimum viable product set up.
Right. Yeah.
And so like 5 or so bumpers, 100-something tracks is all we have to start.
Yeah.
And any free time that we can dedicate to it beyond that is going to go towards scaling it up. Something I really want to do is we can with the service that we're using, we can set up multiple like programming blocks, so we can have one dedicated to like the more rock side of the 90s, right? And then but we've selected so far into a different one and have different DJs hosting them. For those, if anyone knows about DJ DJ Sprite and or Scrotex, where we have both of those on. So like having them host different blocks would be a ton of fun. I would want to have like maybe a little hour dedicated to classical or something. As long as it's period appropriate. Getting variety, I think, is only good, but it takes time.
Yeah. The classical block, the Shakespeare reading Mozart block.
Yeah. Maybe just squeeze in one little track among the normal that's like a very low chance of playing, but it's just like a Neil C like a mouth silence track,
Yeah.
The little 2 epilogue ones that play at the end of Mouth Dreams.
Somebody's hiding, drowning the icebox. Somebody's cold one is giving me chills. Guess I'll just close my eyes.
There's so much potential. There's so much potential. Yeah, I mean, so many bits have already been recorded as well. Like there's a very extensive bit that Jello and Eli recorded a little while ago.
All right, you're listening to Sex FM. I'm DJ Sprite, and for the next segment, we're going to be taking listener requests. If you have a song request, please call 555-184-19273. 421. We have our first caller online right now. Dom from Port Townsend. Welcome.
Hey, first time caller, long time listener. Get that piece of shit DJ Sprite off the fucking air.
That's uncalled
it's
for.
Disgusting that you keep him on your station.
Can you calm down?
Like
can you chill out?
Sex FM.
What's your fucking problem?
No fucking idea what
do you have
I'm talking about.
Do you have a fucking song recommendation or not? Or are you gonna fucking bitch?
I don't fucking Talking Heads. I get wild.
Okay, Talking Heads, I get wild for this fucking prick.
That's
really cool.
I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. And here's the best thing, right? Is that because of the service that we're going with, and the reason that it costs so much, is that it handles licensing.
Oh.
So we can actually genuinely pick fucking any song we want. This isn't going to be like a royalty-free, indie picks. Like, no, this is going to be a real ass radio station. You can tune into it and listen to like a very large selection of music, and it will function normally and be like good music. We're taking a lot of care to pick only good music or bad music that's really funny and you have to sit through or turn the radio off, and those are your only 2 choices.
That fucking rules.
How are you gonna feel, Sam, when you're listening to just like, Shaka Khan comes on, great track, and No Word comes on for a second, then some really nice deep house, and it's been like maybe 20 minutes. You're listening to just a great selection of music, and then I play Hamster Dance.
Right, I'm driving.
I play the Hamster Dance song in its entirety, or I play Carefree from Kevin MacLeod. I play, Dreamscape from Sound System number 9. These are all things that are on the playlist.
I'm gonna feel a lot. I'm gonna feel a lot.
Listener, you need I need you to promise something for me. I want most of the people who listen to this not to know the depth to which we are going, for it to be occasionally insulting to listen to. Okay.
Yeah.
And so by listening to this, you're in on it now. And what that means is you can't tell other people who don't already know, because they need to experience this organically. The description I just gave of the hypothetical Sam who doesn't know what we're up to is the ideal way of experiencing something like this. You need to be flashbanged whenever it does something stupid.
Yeah.
You need to actually be upset. It needs to feel insulting in order for it to work.
I wonder, are there any Discord bots that can play internet radio stations?
I don't know. I mean,
I was gonna say that could be a fun way to spread the impact crater a little bit.
I mean, the other way of doing it is
on
just
a music bot.
What I was thinking of doing was just we're still working on setting it up, but if enough people are interested here, maybe what we can do is by the time the next podcast is recorded, we'll just be running the station so that the people working on the project can what's the expression? Eat your own dog food. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people don't know what that even means. Whatever. We need to be listening to our own thing so that we can see like how it feels as a listener instead of the person making it, right? And that means we're just going to be running it. We've got like a little free trial after that we pay for, whatever. If you guys want to be like the open beta testers, leave a comment and maybe I can just share the M3U file in the description next time around. We'll see how it goes.
That is exciting.
But like, yeah, from there you can just, not even a Discord bot, just fucking, just play Pacific Drive, tune into it, see if anyone picks up on it.
Yeah, wow.
There's so many ways. There's so many ways of doing this. Not to mention, again, you can just tune into it. If you have an app that can tune into an internet radio, you can just listen to it. It's like a fucking podcast. The same shit. Not exactly, but you get the idea.
Yeah, no, I'm so interested in both your overcommitment to the aesthetic and also your overcommitment to bits and making them not bits anymore.
But we can iterate on it. It's a live service thing too. It's always live, and you can add things to it.
Launching a live service radio station.
You can add things to it into the playlist rotation or the ad breaks or the bumpers anytime you want, and it will just continue as normal and just add it onto the queue. So we can launch
new content drop on Sex FM.
We can just shadow release new shit anytime we feel like it. So like if this becomes a long-term project that we just have in the background, then it can just be a breeding ground for stupid bullshit that we want to try out, and that's it. My ideal for this is that enough people like it that it can maybe like a Patreon or something, I don't know, but like partially crowdfunding it so that it can just be ran and anyone can just tune into it on occasion. And every so often, anyone who's involved in it can just throw up some more stupid bullshit onto it. And it can just naturally evolve with time. Maybe during the holidays, we can switch up the music that plays too and have fun with that. I want it to be like an actual thing.
Right.
I want it to be, I was going to say I would like for it to feel like tuning into a radio, but without all the parts that piss you off about listening to radio. But no, what I actually want is one that pisses you off more, but in funny ways.
Right. Putting out the tweet that says that, like, doing the Wikipedia thing, like Sex FM has been running for 20 years strong, but it's at risk of closing unless enough people donate.
I mean, what I was thinking is like, you can just put that in the radio station as well. Frequent listeners, just have a PSA in the station that breaks off that's is a bit, but also is actually saying if you want the radio station to continue, pay us.
Right. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been a hard year for Sex FM. Oh, man.
Sex is down this year.
Sex is down. You've seen the news.
It doesn't, just turn the news on. It doesn't matter what channel.
Oh, man. Where does your fascination with like the aesthetic of radio come from? Because like the bumpers are a commitment.
Quite honestly, there are two things. Firstly, I don't know about you, but whenever I listened to radio as a kid, I always found the bumpers like incredibly annoying.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid.
Yeah.
They are just so suffocating and loud and inane
genuinely Mr. Beast thumbnails in audio form.
Worse. Genuinely worse. So like there's that, right? But then also I've shown you Six Impala's tape 4 track, right?
You have.
The one wherever yeah. I already hate this shit. And they made like a 9-minute long track at the end of their album that is just that. Various flavors of that.
You're listening to Omni Radio 102.505050105 in the mix. Omni Radio. You just listened to Cold Outside by Helvetic. In the mix. 24/7 No Limit Radio. Bringing you the latest in space.
Some of that I'm going to chop up and put on the radio station, by the way. So, like, that's where it started. But, like, you know, I saw someone else do it, and I thought I could absolutely do it and maybe even make it worse. And so it really just went from there, you know? I mean, it's the same place that all of the ads that I make come from, real or fake. It's that I fucking hate how ads are made. And hate can be channeled into creative energy very easily.
It's hate for the way ads are made in all of the era specific ways that manifested.
Yeah. It's a love for the aesthetic and a hate for the source material, if that makes sense.
There's always really weird limitations that come with any medium, and it's really fun to see those express themselves and then absolutely turned against themselves for the sake of advertising.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, what all this is just turning the thing that turned against itself again, but worse.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It is satirize. It's parody of something that already is self-parody. So all you need to do is just turn everything that sucks about it up to 11, and you're good.
Yeah, that sounds real fun.
It is. If you want to be a part of it, I know you have 11 or 12 projects ongoing right now, but any input is welcome. The more people who are in on this, the more people can make things for it, and quantity really is important for a project like this.
Yeah. Can we get testimonials from viewers? Like, Sex FM has been a core part of my commute to and from work for years.
Oh my God, Sam, that could be so fun. Okay, new idea. Set up an email or a place where people can upload audio.
Yeah.
And then just like anyone who's listening in, it doesn't need to be good quality because it never is on the radio stations themselves. Yeah. Just get actual listeners to be like, I fucking love listening to Sex FM, and then just throw that in one of the bumpers because like we've already done like 20 fake versions of that.
Right. Oh man.
Getting the listeners in on it and sampling them that sounds extremely fun.
Yeah.
Because some people they're going to throw you weird shit. Some people are going to try to be funny and fail, and I can make fun of those people. And then some people are going to try to be funny and succeed, and we can just use that.
Yeah, really. I love the respect. The respect that you have for your audience.
Listen, I've read enough YouTube comments. You can't fight me on this.
Yeah.
The problem, the difference here is that people know what the deal is when they submit audio. So it's like, I don't feel super comfortable most of the time shitting on just a random comment because, most of the time people they've got a thought, they got to get it out somewhere, people don't think about the fact that, other people may read it a lot of the time. And so some of the most inane bullshit you'll ever read is not actually meant to be read.
Yeah.
But if you take the time to like set up Audacity on your Mac, or like download a voice recording app and send that off via email or whatever, it's fair game. You know what the deal is.
Yeah.
So if you get made fun of, that's on you.
What does that look like? What would the being made fun of look like?
I think my imagining would be just like giving it way too much air. Is like my default. It depends on how it fails in my eyes.
Right.
But my default would be like, let's say someone does a take of like they're trying to be really funny, right? And so they record something in a goofy voice, or they like, I don't know, just straight up tell a joke that's bad or something, just spitballing here. What I would do is I would take the bad joke and I would wrap an entire bumper around that. I like build it up from the start as like, and we don't just play music here, we tell jokes too, right? And like like here's one now, we're live from the audience, and then build it up, like write like a man on the scene bit of someone asking for something.
Yeah.
And then like the joke plays in its entirety unedited, like this, like the dead silence and all. And then like as soon as the joke hits, the joke that sucks, I would give it like maybe 2 or 3 seconds of dead silence before playing a laugh track, cutting it short, and then playing like the jingle for the radio station, and then moving on.
So what you're doing is you're encouraging it.
I am. And so the please, dear God, if you're listening to this and you think you can be that guy, don't. We're going to have enough of these. Please, God, I don't need to hear 30 different bad jokes that are bad on purpose.
You're pulling in so many different directions. This is fascinating to watch. It's like
here's the thing, right? True dog shit is earnest. So if you think you can be unfunny on purpose, it's hard. It's very hard to do that.
But by looking at it, have you not already poisoned it by pointing it out before it's even had a chance to happen?
Well, I mean, whatever, right? I mean, this is...
Because now what you've introduced is self-consciousness.
If you are recording yourself in front of a microphone and emailing it to a funny fucking podcast group, you already are pretty self-conscious, I'm quite sure.
Not a given.
You have to be very aware of what you're doing to take the amount of steps that I am proposing. Like, and follow that through to completion.
Oh, I'm talking about introducing gun shyness.
I'm sorry, what?
Except the gun is a joke.
Oh, shyness.
Joke shyness.
I've never heard that
on this
phrase
podcast. You've never heard that?
No, I have not.
Well, that's an example of a joke falling flat. If anyone wanted reference for for what not to do.
Awesome.
Just use that.
Yeah. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let us know. Did I describe this well? Probably not. Do you care? Maybe.
We just need one person to call in a testimonial talking about how great Sex FM is with parents fighting.mp3 playing in the background.
You can just send me
all reliable.
That and I can fabricate it.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
Yeah. Truly the joke that keeps on giving, because
how many times have you used the MP3 of parents fighting in a bit?
I honestly, I think only 2.
There's
I have shown
no way.
Remarkable restraint. I did it in the background of the like game engine tool that I was showing, where I was just bullshitting about how this was the only way I knew how to make games, and I put parents fighting in the background. And then
that was the one wherever you made Mario jump on the windows and stuff. Right?
Yeah, I was like doodling lines for him to jump on, and then the second time was in the ad for this podcast that people didn't think was real.
Yeah.
And then I actually don't think I use it after that. It's just it looms large in the memory.
I suppose so.
Because it's so cool.
It's really, when the first time you played that for me, I was genuinely like really uncomfortable, and not just because I have been the kid listening to that happening in real life,
right?
But because like it sounds so authentic that I thought that was just a recording of 2 people fighting for real, and I thought that was in really poor taste. And then you told me that no, that's just 2 people improving.
Yeah, if you turn up that audio file really loud and actually listen to what they're saying, it's fucking crazy. I forget all the details, but it's like this almost believable family drama starts spiraling out of control as they just keep having to yes and the thing the last person said. They just like, it's just two friends who set up a mic, walked in the other room and started bullshitting, and uploaded it to freesound.com or whatever the fuck. Careful looking for that shit on Freesound, by the way, because there are people who do just record their parents fighting and then put it on Freesound. I once accidentally stumbled upon a guy who recorded his neighbors having sex for 20 minutes.
You told me about this. Fuck.
And yeah, and he uploaded it as like, these are my fucking neighbors having sex for 20 minutes. I'm uploading this so I can send the link to the authorities. He set the license to public domain. And it had like 1,000 likes.
That's so cool.
freesound.org.
Be very careful
a website
with anything you find on freesound.org. Just generally.
Freesound.org is the Wild West of audio files. It is truly one of the last remaining untamed frontiers of the internet, if you dig deep enough.
If you've ever just typed random words into the YouTube search bar and sorted by new, it's like that, but worse.
If you ever search like IMG underscore on YouTube and sorted by new.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The internet's a rad place.
Wow.
We have fun here.
Did you want to talk about the Ouya?
Did I want to talk about the Ouya? Holy shit.
At one point in time, you wanted to talk about the Ouya.
Hey, viewer, that's not edited. That's just the next question he asked.
Listen, we got to keep the momentum going here.
If I had ever brought up the Ouya to you, it was probably because it was a big experience in my game development career, TM, because when I bought an Ouya for $99 as a child,
surely everyone here knows what an Ouya is, right?
Everyone on planet Earth knows what an Ouya is, but for those of us,
for any extraterrestrials listening, for any fucking Martians in the audience,
first thing you got to know about Earth is you got to learn about the Ouya. All right, because it's one of our central. We have like a statue of it.
It's like a tent pole moment in.
It is load bearing in modern society. Just the social fabric is being held together by the
I can convince them that it was a load-bearing Confederate monument.
Yeah, have fun with that. Anyway, the Ouya was a console that it was in like 2012 or whatever. There was a group of people that were like, fuck it. Consoles are super gated off from people who want to develop games for them, because they were at the time. It was really, really hard to get your game on console. And they were like, we're going to make a game console that's just for indie developers for the most part. And it's going to be $99. And it's going to let anyone put shit on their TV. And it had a Kickstarter that raised millions and millions of dollars because everyone saw this and thought this is the best idea anyone's ever had.
Yeah. It's gaming is finally affordable and anyone can make anything.
Gaming in the living room specifically. This was like riding high on that energy.
Wasn't this like just whenever the new set of consoles was announced too, like the PS4 and the Xbox One?
Yeah, it was right around. Yeah, this was right around that time, and so people were
everyone was mad about how much those cost. So like,
yeah,
you know,
and people were comparing the Ouya with the PS4 and the Xbox One, this $99 tiny cube that like fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and like, wasn't this also around the time that people were talking about how like, dude, graphics we're reaching a plateau in terms of how awesome the graphics can get. So like, graphics don't matter like they used to. It was like a big argument in favor of the Ouya. Was like, if you just make good games, it doesn't matter if they look fucking awesome or not.
See, that I don't remember as well, because the thing I remember is that the Ouya came out and a lot of people were mad about the graphics.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You're living in a better world.
Wow. I guess we were listening to different annoying people around that time.
I guess we were. But yeah, so it was supposed to be this like indie revolution. They put out this ad that was like an animated ad that a lot of people thought was in poor taste against the gamers. And yeah, came out, flopped, CEO got a shit ton of harassment, company folded. I was sitting here with my box like, this is the greatest shit ever. I can finally make the games for the TV. I no longer have to use like Adobe Flash and then put it on a Weebly website and like set the export to Flash Lite so that I can play it on my Wii internet browser.
Yeah, or just ask people to connect their laptop to their TV, which back then it was way harder to do.
Oh no, dude, I made games that only used the mouse, and that with your Wii internet browser, you could go to the website and like play them by clicking on the things, and it was awful.
There is no way they performed well.
They were so good, man. It was peak.
I'll take your word for that, man. I didn't know until just now that the Wii browser supported Flash. That sounds like a massive security vulnerability, but also it's your Wii, so whatever.
Yeah, it was a notoriously bulletproof Wii. Yeah, it was like you had to export with like a specialized version of Flash that was shitty. It was great.
You ever homebrewed a Wii?
I another pivotal experience.
It's crazy, dude. It was the first time I ever homebrewed something. I remember just like
People are gonna get so mad about how we're using the word homebrew.
yeah, it's so nothing. I mean, that's why I was so surprised is I just followed like a 10-step instruction thing on a website, and like by step 5, ASCII art of Rainbow Dash was on my screen because I went to a website in the right way.
Yeah.
On the Wii, you could just fucking do that.
Yeah.
And that is a required step for the easiest method.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
I used the letter
The
bomb.
homebrew community is fucking awesome.
Homebrew community is fucking awesome. And then Ouya came along and was like, what if you could do this without Rainbow Dash? And then it came out and I got it.
And everyone was like, where the fuck is Rainbow Dash?
Yeah. And that's why, honestly, if we're being real, that's probably why it failed in the long run. But yeah, no, I was so hyped for this thing because I was like, I can finally make games for the TV. And I went through all and it was like a little Android box and they couldn't get, I don't think they could get the chip that they wanted. So
it had like a 3rd gen Tegra 3.
Yeah.
Like, real, like, mobile NVIDIA shit, for those who aren't aware, for the 3 people listening who don't know all about the Ouya already.
Yeah, it was a phone processor, and it wasn't even like the newer phone processor from NVIDIA at the time, the K1. I still remember that shit to this day. It was like another one, and then NVIDIA came out with the NVIDIA Shield, and there was a conspiracy theory about there's a whole lot happening with that.
I'm sure.
But yeah, so I started making games for the Ouya, and they were not good. But
don't be so hard. Don't be so hard on yourself.
They were amazing, and I had this insanely fun time doing it. In part because like the whole reason that putting games on the TV was a big deal is because things like the Xbox Creators Program and putting a thing on the Microsoft Store and having it downloadable on Xbox, self-publishing, none of these were really things yet, right? Even on Steam. It wasn't like pay $100 to get your game on Steam.
So this was huge. Like, it was a big step, or it was supposed to be a big step towards like democratizing the game development process for the living room specifically.
Yeah. And me as like little 11-year-old or whatever, however old I was at the time, it felt so validating and weirdly like important to see the shitty Unity project I was working on showed on the living room TV, and I was just like, wow.
I know. I know exactly. Oh my God, holy shit. Whoa. I just got war flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because I know I remember the exact moment that I had that was closest to that. Like the one big moment where all at once a bunch of things that I did just worked, and for the first time creatively. And it was so stupid too. It was one of the only times I ever like did programming stuff. And basically what I did is I was in Flash, and I was using ActionScript 3 by following a bunch of tutorials online. I made an invisible button on the screen that if you clicked anywhere, it triggered a thing that happened.
Yeah.
And I was and in practice what that did was skip to a different part of the timeline wherever a thing would play. But it did it, and it made sound happen. And it was like, holy shit, if you press the button, it feels like you do this thing that I made happen. It's like a video game.
God, it's so good for me. I think it was like, besides it felt like real. It felt real because as a kid, the way that I understood myself in relation to the creative communities and stuff that I wanted to be a part of was like, I didn't know what I was doing. So it felt like, oh man, if I could clear these like gatekeepers, like what does it mean to be a real game developer? It means like, oh, your shit is on console. You make it with the certain tools.
Exactly. Like consoles are this walled garden. There's like, it feels like it's like only the big time, like you gotta know people, you gotta be doing shit if it gets on the TV.
Yeah.
Not just anyone can do that.
Yeah. And I didn't, and for whatever reason, like it didn't feel like the gate is coming down. It felt like I was now like them. I was rising up. I was moving up in the world.
That's funny.
I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, I'm just like
I mean, in a way you were, though, because you were making stuff.
Yeah. And it was, so even though I never published any games on the Ouya, nor really made anything of substance, like, I will say their developer outreach was really, really good. Like, I, as an 11-year-old, was able to directly annoy their, like, head of developer outreach on Skype.
Wow.
And he was like weird. He was like encouraged.
Where is he now?
I mean, fucking the last time I checked, he moved over to Razer when they were doing their own like Android TV box or something.
Maybe he's at Shield now.
Who even knows what's happening with that anymore? But yeah, it was like, they were all, for whatever other faults they may have had, super encouraging of all of their developers, and it was super motivating just to have what felt like that access to like the broader development community and someone who would help when I was having an immense amount of trouble getting it to work because Android is a fucking nightmare. But that's not.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome.
And
you make the APK and then you run it on the Android. It's like with the Quest. The Quest runs on the Android, and it's simple. Because everyone knows Android, right?
The make APK button is a myth. If you know what Gradle is, I'm sorry. but yeah, so here's my theory, right? Because the general narrative about the Ouya and what it was and what it became is like it was this little box that came out, it promised the world, and it shit itself and fell flat on its face, and here we are. It's a grave. But here's the thing, is that only after the Ouya came out did Xbox start doing the creators. I mean, well, they were already doing indie developer outreach with a thing called XNA, which was like a framework that you could use to make games for the Xbox 360. But I want in my heart of hearts to attribute the acceleration that happened after 2012 in part to NVIDIA's modeling of how to approach indie developers as a console manufacturer. Realistically, there's no way for me to actually know, but what it did make clear was that there was a desire for more independent developers to get their shit on the big screen.
Yeah.
And now you can yourself like self-publish an Xbox game. It'll be limited in certain ways in terms of like how much of the hardware it can use, but if you look up, Universal Windows Platform publishing Xbox game on the Microsoft Store, you can just do that now. Thanks for listening.
Unrelated to anything we just said, I was a little while ago. I was reading comments on the V3 channel, as one does, and a couple of people went out of their way to say that the podcast is mastered way, way, way louder than most things on YouTube. And this gave me a comedic eyebrow raise for a number of reasons. They were like, "You're making this shit too loud." First off, fuck off. Our boy Billy does a good job. But the other more interesting thing is that, you actually have to master things very loudly in order for certain distribution platforms, but that's a boring conversation no one gives a shit about. What does interest me is that up until recently, YouTube was supposed to handle that, right? It has an internal system where it equalizes more or less the relative loudness of everything that it plays. This is all speculation podcast moment. Don't take anything I'm saying as like the truth. Recently, YouTube released everyone calls it something different, but it's like it's a feature wherever it automatically adaptively listens to whatever sound is playing on a given YouTube video and turns the volume up or up.
Yeah.
It's just a real shepherd's tone, but it's just volume instead. Up or down depending on, if it is loud or quiet. The same thing that radio stations do, and it drives me fucking crazy. Because whenever you have people who are doing a good job balancing audio, you have a dumb fuck program that is turning the volume knob on top of that, removing any dynamics in real time. And that stupid dumb fuck feature defaults to on, or at least it did for me when it was rolled out. Maybe it's not how it is, but whatever. Around the time that came out, I also noticed that a lot of YouTube videos started being a lot louder or quieter than others. And I'm really worried that is like, this is just, they're leaning on that feature instead of the thing that worked before, which was aiming for a general equivalent loudness across the website for each individual video. And the closest analogy I could think of is that it's like motion smoothing on a new TV that also defaults to on. It's like just there are good uses for something like that, but God, don't make it default to on. Please. We work so hard.
I mean,
to make the audio sound good. Please don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like there should be, for the audio normalization thing, an opt-out on the creator side, because like it is
you're so true.
Yeah, like it is solving an actual problem, which is like a lot of people don't know how to master audio, and that is just an improvement over the way the video would be without it. And it does ensure a consistency. But like, yeah, if you do care about that, it shouldn't be you telling people to turn it off. Motion smoothing, I don't actually think solves a real problem the same way that this does. Like, you can make a better argument for the like picture color balancing than you can, I think, for motion smoothing, because motion smoothing just adds more frames, and it's like not enough frames was never an issue for like television.
Tell that to the gamers.
Right? Like, we standardized that pretty good.
Tell that to the gamers.
Yeah. Well, there it's like fucking. Oh man, sorry. I'm just thinking about frame generation and how interesting and weird.
Getting really happy thinking about those people.
Yeah. Well,
it's okay. I solved the problem a few years ago, so no one does it anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about the people. I think like the expectation of high frame rates is like good and normal.
Yeah.
It's just the weird quagmire of performance shit. This is a whole other conversation. Long story short, I think that
that's like Family Guy.
That is so true. We should talk about but yeah, I do wish that there was an opt-out for creators to allow you to not default that to on, because I do think that you should have some control over like what the default experience of your thing is, even if you're
in the same way that
control.
when you buy a new TV and you plan on watching movies with it, you should not have the fucking default for it have, contrast and color enhancement and dynamic brightness and whatever fucking else.
Yeah, and like the purpose of those things is to make them look different at a store, because more frames and more color generally means more quality.
But there's a demo mode built into the fucking thing that you should. They have a built-in demo mode.
Then you take it home.
Attract mode.
You take it home. It's what it has to look the same. It has to have all the features.
You set it up, Sam, when you set it up at the fucking Best Buy, usually during the setup process, it will ask you if it's for a store. At least it did when I worked there. I remember that.
But
maybe it's a false memory. Maybe I'm fucking crazy, but I'm pretty sure you just tell the TV that it's in a store. It shouldn't default to doing that.
No, but Julian, if it doesn't default to doing that, then the person's going to bring it back to the store and ask why it looked different in the store than it did when they brought it home. Why is it choppier? Why is it choppier when we bring it home?
I'm going to blow up everyone who's ever made a TV.
I think there's some frames leaking out of my. Well, now they're all smart TVs, so those problems are solved.
Oh, right, because they're smart and they're awesome.
I want my TV to be dumb as shit. All right, I am so tired of these. Like, I don't need expansive. I don't need like your big user interface. I don't need a Roku inside of it. I just want to be able to plug some shit in and turn it on and look at the shit without doing a software update for the TV, for the software I do not use.
No, Sam, you love that LG TVs come with gyros now, so that you can more easily use the pointer for LG's own WebOS.
That I actually do think is funny. I think the fact that the remote is like a Wii remote, that is the one thing you know what? Yeah, that is the one redeeming factor of smart TVs. Of course I would love
you
that.
Specifically would love that.
Yes.
It's also got an IR thing as well, which is really confusing to me. Because if you have a gyro and you have like aiming built into your fucking remote, why do you also have an IR blaster? What?
But just for fun.
Just felt like it.
Just felt like
Remember when phones had IR blasters built into them?
Oh hell yeah!
Remember the Samsung Galaxy S3?
Yeah, I had to borrow a friend's Samsung Galaxy S3 to turn my computer monitor on once because the power button was broken and it had an IR receiver.
That's so fucking cool.
These are the kind of yeah.
Take me back,
Pretty
dude.
cool, right? No, it's yeah.
You ever used a Wiimote without a Wii sensor by just lighting 2 candles in front of your TV?
Yes, the demon summoning.
The fucking
I did that
hood
outdoors.
classic.
It was awesome.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I can play games in a variety of locations. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
So yeah,
audio normalization.
So audio normalization. My concern, and this is based on absolutely fucking nothing, right? I am truly just talking out my ass. But my concern is that by introducing audio normalization and defaulting it to on for the web player and for the application, there is no longer as much of a focus on just balancing YouTube videos when you turn that off, which is really fucking frustrating. If true, I'm shadowboxing a thing that may or may not exist. But either way,
yeah.
What kills me about its introduction and it being on by default is that most people who use YouTube are not watching videos that are mastered particularly badly, because most people watch things that get many views, generally speaking. That's why they get more views, is because more people watch them. I don't know if you know this.
No, I didn't, but thanks for...
But the more views that something gets, the more likely it is that whoever's making it is either good enough or is paying someone who is good enough to balance audio at least decently. And so the majority of videos that people watch probably have at least okay sound and don't need this feature.
Yeah, I will say the worry about audio normalization making all YouTube videos worse because people don't prioritize it. Anyone who's paying attention to sound enough to feel like, oh, they're normalizing it for me, I don't have to worry about it anymore, is already worrying about it, and they're going to be annoyed by it. I can't imagine a person who notices, who is like, oh my God, thank God YouTube's normalizing my audio for me. I know all of these terms and how to do it. I'm just going to stop. I don't know. Maybe there's some people, but I can't imagine that being pervasive.
I just get mad because I know that, like, I don't want to admit to myself that whenever my parents set up a new TV and they don't take it off the default settings, and then I go and I show them that, like, this sucks, and then I fix it for them, they don't actually care. And it's not going to make a difference. I don't want that. I know that's true, but I don't want it to be true. Yeah. Because that means that that's how most people engage with most things, and that makes me a little sad.
If you want a view into how most people engage with media, try and find a way to view TikTok from blank slate, because
oh fuck, I don't think I want that.
It was eye-opening, and I don't say that as fully pejorative. It's just like important to recognize that when you're making things, I think that you have to make it for yourself, and if you care, then you care, and hopefully it finds other people that care. I don't think that everyone's obligated to care about all of these things to the same extent. It's just nice. It's just nice when they do.
At the same time, I don't know. Maybe this is just a little bit of my hater energy coming out from when I made that interpolation video. Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of work to quell that demon, but it still does feel, on the part of the people whose decision it is to make things like, auto color enhancement, or, resolution enhancement, or audio stabilization, whatever the fuck they choose to call it. It feels disrespectful in a way to both the viewer and to the people making things for the girl watching this, right? My biggest my biggest problem with anyone making a thing that is going to be distributed to a lot of people is whenever they fuck up the default settings for it, because most people aren't going to change it. Most people don't give a fuck. And so it's kind of your job as the guy setting up those defaults to make sure that the person is going to get the best relative experience out the box. And that's just not how things are packaged a lot of the time, because everything has to be new and fancy and special and different from everything else. And so everyone invents different words for the same stupid bullshit features that harm the experience, but on a Best Buy shelf look more shiny than the thing next to it. I know that I am sounding like I really am just being a fucking asshole doomer about this, but it's really hard not to feel that way every time I get a new thing and it's prepackaged with 10 million dog shit bullshit features that I don't need, don't want. Dude, I started getting gray hair last month. It's not good. I'm getting old and this is how it's manifesting. I think this is the first step. It's not good. I'm going to be one of those fucking old people whenever I'm like 80. I already see it. I already see it in my parents. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I obviously largely agree. I think there's like the impact of making product TM cannot be overstated, and it always feels bad when anything that you do, the impact is multiplied thousands to millions of times over because of all of the people who have to use it. Like my version of this is software performance. Like if your web page or application is like super fucking slow and makes you redo work, that's not just like my time you're wasting. That's like there's millions and millions of minutes of human life lost due to
oh my god, you sound like my dad complaining about traffic lights now. Holy shit.
It's all complaining.
I wish the overworked construction worker who has 7 million things to get done by the end of the day could have programmed those stupid fucking traffic lights a little better, because it would save me half a minute on my commute to work. And I think that's the real problem with today's society, Sam. These are the problems we need to be talking about.
That is a problem.
Motion smoothing is on by default, and the red light lasts too fucking long.
Yep, it is. Listen, what the fuck even is anything else? There you go. That was good. Yeah.
This is what we call a yes and listener. It's wherever someone puts down a bit and the other person rolls with it and they build on it.
Yes.
So here we go. Here it is. That's how you do it, everyone.
Yep, that was a demonstration. You see, I left a blank that you could fill in by yes anding with your imagination.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Well, it's audience participation, you know.
No, it's better than that. It's immersive audio.
It's immersive audio podcasting experience. Viewer, turn your audio normalization on for this one. You're going to want to hear it.
I think the problem is that they're hearing it a little too well, if comments are to be believed.
No, you're going to want to blast
Billy,
it.
do me a favor. Can you make it so that every single podcast that we come out, it's like 1 decibel louder than last time? And we just like incrementally raise it until people like notice? No, just this one specifically. Can you just make it like 15 decibels louder than like any of the others before or after? Just like, you know, just see if people notice.
Yeah, hey, Billy,
people notice.
Just scream into the mic and loop it for an hour and we'll upload that, all right? This is...
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Be better than whatever this is.
you know what that was? That was a recreation of a competitive clip featuring a very brave Pyro and the reality of how quickly an Uber Demo Man can cut the enemy team in half. With that lucky sticky kill on the scout and the quick switch to grenades, I'm able to blow up 3 players and leave a 4th one fending for his life. Make no mistake, Demo Man is really powerful. Throw some sticky bombs over here and toss some pipe grenades over there, and before you know it, boom, skadoosh, blue team gone. But sit down a new player as Mr. Only Has Projectiles, and you'd better be prepared to cover your ears.
Go to hell!
The learning process for Demo Man looks something like this, spamming stickies with no sense of timing while relegating the grenade launcher to, emergencies.
Oh, shit! I'm out of stickies!
And this strategy can work to an extent because, let's be honest, having 8 explosives loaded in one gun is kind of ridiculous. Oh my god. Guys, do the Geneva Conventions apply to video games? But hold on, stickies can't be detonated for 0.7 seconds after shooting them, so don't be surprised if sticky spamming gets you killed by every other scout.
I don't usually kill morons this fast.
Soldier.
Scotland is not a real country.
Sniper.
Bloody hell, you wolf!
And spy.
Spy! Indeed, you drunken wretch. You are an embarrassment.
It's always the godforsaken squad. So sticky spamming isn't perfect. Do we give up? No! We just do it better. As long as you stay about this far away from the action at this point where your stickies travel the entire length of their arm time, you should be free to go on a rampage.
That'll teach him!
It just makes everything so much easier. This distance puts you in control and ensures that you'll never have to do anything difficult ever again. Oh man!
You suck!
Yeah, at some point you're gonna have to learn more than sticky spamming, but don't worry, there's a reason these things are designed to stick. Demo Man's ability to control when stickies explode provides perhaps the most consistent source of kills in the entire game, the sticky trap. Not only can you consistently lock down a choke point with a sticky bomb launcher, you can then reload the damn thing and be ready to pick apart the pack of panicked perpetrators after the fact.
Get on, bloody dead! Stop that!
But there's more to it than just dumping stickies on choke points. You can store a bunch of damage anywhere. Hey, Red Team, that was a great overcharge. Can't wait to see the next one. Exert a little patience. If you find some unsuspecting snipers, lay down 2 stickies at once so they can't even respond to the detonation. And if a medic so happens to walk into them, that's an epic sticky trap. Put some distance between you and those cheeky scouts with just 1 sticky. Just 1 sticky. Wait, does this count as a sticky trap? Does that mean... is every sticky bomb its own trap?
You've seen it, haven't you? The power within each sticky bomb?
Yes, I see! Every sticky I shoot guards the entire radius around it! The very idea of a trap is subjective!
Good! Now that you see the power of every undetonated sticky, you have opened your third eye, second eye.
I get it now. That's the beauty of manual detonation. If I stay calm and don't detonate, it doesn't matter that these stickies were meant for this spy. They're the perfect trap for this rocket jumping soldier I was totally expecting. Stickies haven't missed until you detonate them. No choke point, no problem. With enough stickies and enough patience, the entire world becomes one big choke point.
Stop it!
All this sticky trapping seems almost too good, right? But with how vulnerable... All this sticky trapping seems almost too good, right? I'm talking here. All this sticky trapping seems almost too good, right? Okay, now there are 2 of them. What kind of sick joke is this? Is it safe? Can I...
Keep it up.
All this sticky trapping seems almost too good, right? But with how comically vulnerable he is to being bum rushed, I think it's fine to reward Demo Man for seeing it coming.
We've been expecting you.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
That's what you get.
Of course, sticky traps don't detonate themselves. No, Scout, you scared me into detonating too early! Ah! A good sticky trap demands your full attention. In other words, Demo Man is designed to have tunnel vision.
Ah! Taking the wrong fucking die.
That's right. The class with one eye has tunnel vision. Deep lore. When I'm setting up an important trap in the heat of the moment, it's not realistic for me to turn around between each sticky and reset my crosshair. In other words, if I'm gonna get stabbed, mother of mercy, I'm gonna get stabbed. But forget the spies and snipers for a minute. The last thing you want is to become your own worst enemy. I mean, okay, I don't know if it's just me, but after growing emotionally attached to some carefully laid sticky trap that will surely get a triple kill and make Daddy proud, I struggle to pay attention to anything else as I play with one hand behind my back for 40 seconds getting nothing done until I finally say fuck it and randomly detonate, somehow killing a horribly unfortunate spy.
You appear to have trodden on the mine. I am the spy.
But perhaps the most harrowing downside is that when it comes time to push forward, you may be given a choice. No! I can't detonate here! Not now! I'll die for sure! But my team! But I deserve to live! If I die! No! 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 I let them down. I can't keep relying on this thing, man! Sure, it's consistent, but it's so slow. What if I need damage now? If death stares me in the face? If my targets are launched? There's only one thing to rely on then. I live for pipe grenades. The thrill of trusting your instincts and saying, I don't care that you have a medic, because I'm just gonna hit 3 pipes in a row, all right? See you later. Goodbye. The power I feel melting one heavy after the other, granting them the power of flight while accidentally killing those around them. And the rush of knowing that the only way I'm getting out alive is 2 clean pipes. Hitting 2 pipes on scouts ain't easy, but it always kills, even if they're overhealed.
Denied.
No. No. That medic did not just perfectly time a healing crossbow bolt in between my 2 pipes. He did not! Hello, yeah, police, I'd like to report a robbery! To guarantee the second pipe, do your best to shoot the first one at their feet. It'll pop them right up for an easy twofer. Okay, Heavy, are you sure you want to play this game? This doesn't tend to work out for you.
Oh dear, it appears I have underestimated my opponent's critical thinking skills, while simultaneously overestimating my body's ability to effectively move around corners. I should take note for the future not to chase explosive-wielding enemies around said corners, as they naturally have a sizable advantage due to not requiring a direct line of sight to deal bodily harm. It certainly does not help that I am at my most sluggish while revving up my gun, a precursor to shooting aforementioned gun, and therefore killing my enemy.
Oh, shit!
Shooting for the feet can be a gamble, but when it works, it works.
Cause baby, you're a
Landing pipes will always feel amazing because you can't take a single one of them for granted. You never know when even that scoped-in sniper is just gonna get up and move. Yo, I'm joking, I missed on purpose! It's a joke, I'm friendly! Hitting pipes is often the difference between living and dying, and almost every time it comes down to intuition. Owning you eat shit! When you're in the kind of fast-paced situation that calls for pipes, there's no time to ask yourself questions about air strafing or hitboxes. It's pure intuition. Extends that intuition to your sticky bombs, and it won't be long until you're landing 1-2 punches like it's nothing. But how does one access all of this intuition? My best advice is to equip the Sticky Jumper, a no-damage launcher that allows you to do incredible triple mid-air jumps, forcing yourself into the enemy base so that you can get in as much practice as possible. Pipes are great. I like pipes. I love pipes. So that you can get in as much practice as possible. Remember that pipes are best aimed at large, unmissable groups, so keep an eye out and... Large, unmissable groups, so keep an eye out for those good opportunities. And never underestimate the element of surprise. That's right. It's my job to destroy these sentries, and these sentries, and these sentries, and God, am I seeing okay, or is that a lot of engineers? I mean, that's a lot of engineers. Bye! See ya. The thing that I can't fucking get, alright, and listen, because this is serious. These close-up sentries that don't serve any purpose other than just catching people off guard. You're not even defending anything. You're just, the scout walks by. He goes, "Hey, I'm playing the game. I'm having fun." And then, that's not fair. But engineers aren't gonna stop building these things until people stop walking into them. All right. So please, I'm begging you to just check your corners and never let these engineers get away with this.
Look both ways before you cross! Okay, mate. All right, you wankers. Sentry!
Oh my god, dang it, no! This isn't even defending anything! This sentry is just mean, alright? I will make sure that you suffer for this. But I'll go even further. You know what? I don't want to be too mean, but you engineers have to know how dead you are. How much a demo man can just take control. I feel bad for this guy. Honestly, I'm sorry, Gibbous Engineer. This isn't necessarily your fault, but I've got to send a message. Oh, no. This engineer has the dispenser, teleporter, all the setup. I can't have that. I'm sorry, engineer, but this is the end for you. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. That's the one. That's fucking engineers, man. They don't have a chance. What if you thought that was sad? Just wait till you hear